right. Welcome to our second review of the evening, Riddled Corpses EX. Riddled Corpses EX is a twin-stick shooter.
Yep.
Frenetic arcade-style twin-stick shooter, according to the PR. The EX is because this is actually a remake of a PC twin-stick shooter called Riddled Corpses.
Mm-hmm.
Now
the EX version is on, I think, PlayStation at least, as well as Switch. But the version
I got all
the Switch version.
I've got all the information here.
Okay.
The EX version is on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, Xbox One. All of those versions came out last June. And the Nintendo Switch version, which is the version we will be covering, just came out on March 2nd, 2019. Now, before we get into it, I've actually got a whole list of things that separate Riddled Corpses EX from the original. Riddled Corpses EX, an exclusive remaster for consoles. 60 FPS for all consoles. The game was 30 FPS on PC. Cleaner HUD with transparency. Characters now have different stats. New story modes with cutscenes, new soundtrack. You can switch between classic and new. Grinding much reduced and more progressive. Enemies have more diverse AI and stats. New collision detection. New combo system. Co-op mode now works as expected in all modes. So I guess something went buggy on the PC version of this. Local co-op is on the PS4, Xbox One, and I assume the Switch?
Yes, the Switch has co-op.
Yeah. Arcade mode revamped. It is now a true, quote-unquote, arcade experience. You start with nothing but a few lives and need to complete the game in one sitting. Compare your scores in each mode on the online leaderboard. Added bonus stages in the arcade mode. Added explanations for each mode. Added hazards in levels. Exploding barrels, fire floor, etc., and extras, crates. Destructible objects now have a health bar. Clock power-up now blocks and slowdowns enemies and shots plus graphical effects. Dynamite now works on all enemies. New menu artwork, new lighting system, stereo music and sounds. PC version was mono. Palette swap for characters in co-op. Optional transparency effects. Added controller vibration. Added stage progress indicator. And more. It literally just says and more. I guess even they got tired of listing all the things that they added to this. So,
it sounds like a pretty significant upgrade over the original.
Yeah. So, and for reference sake, no one here has played the original Riddled Corpses. So we will just have to take the word of this bullet point list that, this game is a much meatier and improved experience. I mean, just doubling the frame rate, I will tell you right now, will be a significant factor, especially for something like a twin stick shooter. Like, anyway.
Although the art is very, I was slightly disappointed because the promo art is very anime waifu.
Right.
And the actual in-game art is in fact very pixel. Like, right. And also the character you start with is a dude, although I think the intended goal is that you try to unlock the other characters as quickly as you can, because John does not seem to have much in the way of unique abilities. But yeah, it's a pretty standard twin-stick shooter with the auto fire by pointing in a direction. On the Switch, the co-op, there is at least an option to play with one joystick, and in that one, you just constantly fire in the direction that you're moving or moved last. I would not recommend that, but I definitely would recommend the Switch version for being portable and having co-op. The Vita version does not have co-op, apparently. Also, the Vita is dead. But yeah, it's a fun game, and there are cool, I feel like I would have needed to put in a lot more time into this game to get to the point where I would be good at it, because this does at least have, it's not a randomly generated game, but like roguelite style progression where you get money through the course of your run and can use that to buy new characters, upgrades for your existing characters and stuff as you play. But yeah, otherwise the play is very arcade style. You have 3 hits, and if you take 3 hits, you die. There are boss fights that look cool, but I'm bad. And if the grinding was reduced in this version, I don't want to know what it was like originally, because it still takes hundreds of gold to buy anything really, and you have to get to, like, gold drops usually in like 1 to 10 and doesn't drop from everything. So yeah, it takes thousands of gold to buy other characters. So I don't know, it's a pretty simple thing. Like, there are special abilities, like you have you can collect power-ups, a turret, a dynamite that is a bomb, or a clock that can stop time, which are useful for when, you know, enemies are coming at you. And there's an arcade mode, which pretty much Adam explained in the version differences, and the survival mode, which I assume is just you keep going until you die. But that's what story mode was for me. But no, it seems like a fun and cute game if you are into twin stick shooters. It's very it's very Robotron-ish to me, because I mean, you're shooting zombies; they move in your general direction, and getting upgrades helps make things a lot faster. Like, your guns get way better, you can move faster, all of which is very helpful because the enemy definitely has numbers. The standard play seems to be a lot of like, you have to fight a wave of enemies, then you have to go to move for a while, and then you fight another wave after you progress. So I'm sorry I don't have more. The graphics are actually quite nice if you like the pixely style. Like, everything is very small, but the backgrounds are reasonably detailed. It's pretty easy to tell where everything is, because all of the important things stand out from the back, have outlines, so they stand out from the background well, because that's sometimes an issue with the relatively small sprites that this game has and other games like it have.
And I'd imagine that it should be compounded in portable mode.
Yeah, if you're well, if depending on how close you are to your screen, which handheld would probably not be as bad, but if you're like playing it with it on the table, yeah, or if you're trying to co-op because it's shared screen. But yeah, I mean, I really tried to get my friend together so we could try and do co-op, but unfortunately his dad was up, so he was busy. Also, most enemies, when they appear, you do get some warning in the form of the zombies usually pop up as gravestones first, or as coffins first, and then and you can attack the coffins, and then after that they become an attacking form. But yeah.
Now, if you kill the coffin, will you stop the enemy, or?
I think they still pop out, but I haven't successfully, like, actually completely killed them in the coffin form, but it does seem to do damage. Again, I'm not great at processing large amounts of enemies at a time. And this kind of game is really big on that, so I mostly just focus on trying to find relatively safe spaces and last as long as I can. But yeah, the enemy designs are interesting. It's good that they have more different abilities than they used to, because I remember that was an issue with the game last week, that also had fairly small things, is that there were way more different looking enemies that don't... I mean, most of the basic zombies still die fairly quickly, but yeah, the music is nice. I didn't actually try the old music, but the new music is good. And yeah, I never made enough money to unlock the other characters, but they look interesting and they upgrade in different ways, I think, and have different abilities. So the basic character has no ability, unfortunately. Do you guys have any questions?
Not really. This looks like kind of an interesting twin stick shooter.
Mm-hmm. I wish the aesthetic went through a little bit more, because then I don't know.
Mm.
Well, I mean, how much could it do given?
That's the main. Yeah, the main thing is that the screen is so tiny.
Yeah, it's a twin. You're not going to get
something. Did Twilight have a question that I interrupted?
Oh, I didn't have a question. I was just going to comment on that. Looks fun as a non-handheld game, at least.
Yeah, I still want to try. I still want to try it with my friend in co-op.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it might be balanced a little bit for that. I don't know, but I can't even tell you if you share life bars in co-op or if you can revive each other. Because that would be nice, but I don't want to count on it.
Right. Anyway, so pricing.
I might be able to come up with a addendum to this. Yeah, pricing on the Switch. This is $10, which I don't think is a bad price for it, but I don't know. It's probably different prices on different platforms.
I can field this. So the original game on the PC is actually a bit cheaper. It's clocking in at $7.99. The EX version on all consoles is clocking in at $10.
Oh, it is the same?
Okay. And 10 euros for that matter.
Now, do we know if the Steam version will be upgraded to the EX version at some point down the line, or is development stopped on that?
Considering they said console exclusive, it won't be in a hurry.
Yeah, I'm like,
yes,
I would say do not expect the EX version to come to PC because that was handled by a different team. The publisher for Riddled Corpses is Daniel Fernandez Chavez. Diabolical Mind is listed as the publisher here, and Daniel is listed as the developer. Diabolical Mind is listed as the developer on the EX version, with Cowcat being the publisher, and Cowcat is the one behind all of the upgrades. So
definitely the X version sounds like an actually really significantly upgraded version. So
yeah, it's like between the two, it's definitely the EX version. It's just that version is only on consoles.
And I do think the Switch version is probably the best console version. For the combination of portability and being able to do co-op if you want to.
Yeah, well, best version overall, I'd say, because, there is a Vita version, and there are still some weirdos who have the Vita.
Well, the Vita version doesn't have co-op, is what I was saying.
Yeah. I'm just pointing that out.
But yeah, and there is a story here in story mode that's again, I didn't get very far, but it's worth paying attention to, or it seems that way. But I'm more into that than I am into arcade mode, so.
Right. Anything else to say?
Not really a whole lot. I focused on it, and if you kill the coffins, they do indeed not have anything come out of them.
Okay. All right, so that'll about do it for Riddled Corpses EX. Be sure to tune in after our next break for Gloom Labyrinth.